welcome along to episode 3 of Chronicles. Today's episode is entitled Treasures and Coves because we're finding treasure and we're in a cove. Unfortunately, Jay has, fortunately in some ways, Jay has found herself a new job and a new home. And the stress of all of that was just too much to be playing as a silly little mouse. So this table will be a long-term standing thing, as it always has been. We are the Sunday table. And so at the end of Chronicles, we will embark on another journey somewhere else, and Jay will join us. In the meantime, you'll have to accept that either Jean-Luc never came with us, or has turned around and gone home, or has gone in search of the music, or whatever it is Jean-Luc has done. Forget they ever existed, because alas, it is just the four of us. Cue the music. And last week we got up to some things. What did we get up to? Somebody tell us.
Anyone
Anyone Joe, I think. Joe did session 1.
Joe did do session 1.
What happened last week?
I'll give it a go. Just the when stuff happened is a bit foggy, but the details are there.
It'll be foggy for the DM too.
So we, after having killed the sea spawn in the session prior to the one, to the one we, to the one we played last week, is we started off after having a short rest, and then we decided we talked about where should we go next, and I think we
saw some tracks or something.
We saw some tracks, yeah, because I think it was Joe's character Munch was like saw some like a red slime sort of tracks, another sea spawny type tracks, and then I think then a big lizard, yeah. And we were like, do we go west? Do we go north? And I didn't know if we could go east because I think that was like towards the
I think east was an option.
East was the sea spawn. West
was
the slime, and north was the lizard. You couldn't go south because that's where you just come from.
Okay, so we decided to go north, and we ran into was the first thing we ran into was the pirates.
Yeah, I think you ran into some monkeys that threw some tomatoes at you, and then you went.
Oh, the monkeys, yeah.
And you ran into as you said, you ran into a place where some pirates shouted at you.
Yeah, and so the pirates came out, and I think Cooper, Josh's character, was like trying to take a little sneak peek in the tent by cutting a little hole, and then one of them came out and was swinging a very large nail at him, and or it was a sword. We called it a nail. It had 2 nails, and and so Boulder Breast went down and tried to distract the other one while hopefully Cooper could get away. They just seemed not interested in trying to communicate like the other. I keep forgetting what we're calling the humans because Keth. That's it. I was gonna say Keth, but it's not Keth. Like the other Keth that we've met, they didn't seem like interested in communicating or anything like that. So we just buggered off. And then we advanced further north, and we came across the swamp. Is this when we came across the swamp or the huts?
Came across some huts. Huts, swamp, onwards. Doesn't really matter the order. You came across a hut.
Yeah.
And a swamp.
Came across some huts, and then we saw it was the huts. Yeah, and then we saw like the huts were abandoned. They were sort of primitive sort of huts made out of like, just jungle foliage and stuff like that, but they were well made. And then there was a cave, and then we saw a tiny little like black spirity like thing that was like and they came up and sort of gave us some stuff. They came up to Munch first and like touched his chest and gave him like a warm fuzzy feeling. And there they are. Yeah, they're cute little things. And then they were in the cave, cowering sort of not cowering, but just very cautious. And we found out that they took something from Munch. And in exchange, they gave him some sort of like, you know, magic. I can't remember the effect that he got. He got some.
Effectively.
That's what he got.
The effects of the potion of heroism. And I believe yourself effects, Joe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys long rest?
Oh. No, we long rested because after being caught, after doing that, we fought some. I think after that we fought some frogs.
Yeah, and then you long rested.
Yeah. And then we long rested in one of the huts we found in the cave to be some sort of magic water. Whether it was like
the water was coming through some sort of magic thing that Diego was incapable of understanding. Beyond his abilities.
Yeah, and then we proceeded forth northward, continuing, and then we came to a swamp where there was a giant snail with a large, beautiful shell, and on top of it was a little guy, but it wasn't the same little guy as the other little guys. He was big.
Yeah.
He was a bigger little guy made of plants.
His real name is a veggie pygmy.
Yeah, veggie pygmy.
He's very nice.
Yeah, we waved. I think he waved, or we waved, or something like that, and he was like excited that we acknowledged his presence, and he like did a backflip, I think, or something like that. And then we just let him go on by, and then we also saw in the swamp. Of course, the swamp smelled, and that was a talking point for a while. Just how smelly it was.
It did. There was
and then there was a creature in it, and it was big and scary, and it was, for us, it was a hippopotamus. For the characters, it was just a big and scary, you know, bestial thing. And then we proceeded northward, continuing, and then we finally got to a river with a bunch of fish people. Unlike the other fish thing, the fish person thing, there were different fish people. They were more fishy, less scary in a different way. And so we were like, yeah, best to steer clear of them. And so we followed around them, avoiding them, to get to the north beach. And we followed along to the east, and found a bunch of like found a bunch of like, you know, remnants of, you know, civilization, and that was all destroyed and stuff like that. And then we found another sort of cave of secrets and treasure. And so, of course, you know, us not really fully understanding that, like, well, people leave stuff to keep it safe to our characters. Well, they left it, so they mustn't need it, so it's ours now. And so we just started pilfering all the stuff that we could get, which included a buttload of stuff. And then we unfortunately were a bit too grabby with our hands, and bloody unleashed a mimic.
You did unleash a mimic, and that is where we are going to resume, with me desperately trying to find a font which actually is fucking readable. Because I forgot to put the... Well, that's going to have to do. I forgot to put the swamp with hippo pond on your map, so I've made a temporary note of it. Yeah, we were about to find a mimic, so let's do that. Let's try not to die. This is a fight clearly designed for 5 people, and there ain't 5 of you. So good luck. I hope that this is not where the campaign ends, but if it does, guys, it's been a lovely journey. Would you please roll initiative?
Likewise.
fucking dramatic, isn't it? Let's do that.
Mine is a 22.
Yours is a 22. All right.
Where?
Don't talk about it. Do something.
Isn't it? No, it's not.
It is now. It is now.
No, I'm lying.
It's okay.
It's
Yes,
it's
it's
18. An 18. I'm mixing up characters, James.
What's your dex?
1.
1?
An 18. Yeah.
What's your dex?
Like a plus, like 12.
12. Okay, yeah. So this makes no difference. An 18 and 22, you can go at the same time. So, Diego, what are you doing?
Oh, jeez.
Unless, of course, you wish to switch initiatives with one other person, because that is an option.
Yes, that is true. I think I'd like to switch initiative with
Joe loves going first.
Cooper. No, with Cooper.
Switch with Cooper, okay.
I have
Do that.
fewer choices nowadays.
That is true. You couldn't have any. Okay, Cooper.
Yes.
The creature rushes up with its stand. It grabs you and pulls you in, but does no damage. You're currently in melee range with it. What are you doing?
I have a question. Does a mimic count as a trap?
No.
Okay. Because I have resistance to damage dealt by traps.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but that's fine. I think I will just squirm and stab it in the tongue.
Okay.
Is that just a straight roll? Oh.
Give me a second. I'm having a problem. Can you talk for me, Josh?
Yeah. So basically, I really
How do you stab it? Tell me how you stab it.
in the tongue
Yeah, with what?
with my dagger.
Okay.
What else with?
I don't know. You just sort of stick your hand out and yeah? Stick your hand out and
No, I mean, I'm assuming its tongue is like wrapped around my waist, and that's how it's pulled me in.
Yes.
No?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. You became a duck very briefly in that sentence. Go ahead. Do a stab. Yes, roll a hit.
Is it just a straight roll?
It is just a straight roll.
Okay. That's a 23 to hit.
23 hits. Give me some damage.
Wowee.
That is 4 damage.
Nice. You got the 4
Oh,
damage.
sorry, that's 6 damage. Sorry.
No
6.
sneak attack. Where are you getting sneak attack from? There is no other creature within melee range of this. You do not have advantage on the attack. You are not hidden. It can see you. And thus, none of that things will happen. Okay.
Is it enough for it to let me go?
Oh, fucking Jesus. Yeah. It's gonna briefly let you go. And then it's gonna try and bite you. I think this is farewell to Cooper.
Oh no.
That's an 18 to hit you.
Yeah. I am.
Yeah, technically you're officially dead, but don't worry about it. You're not. You're just down. Yeah, good luck. Diego. Seeing this
This is why I
debacle.
asked if it's a trap, because I'd be resistant to all of that.
And if you were resistant, you'd be down.
Would I? No. Oh yeah, I would.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah.
Cool. Diego, what have you got for me?
I've got a magic missile for you, buddy.
Okay, cool. Love that.
How? And you said if I'm shooting all of them at the same.
Yeah, it would just be a 3d3 plus 3, or a 3d4 plus 3, sorry. 3d4 plus 3, sorry, yeah.
Well, I just rolled the fucking thing.
Okay, you can just click it 3 times if you want. It's fine too. Just a matter of expediency. Whichever one you find quicker and easier. Good, it's looking good, it's looking good. It's an 8 force damage. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, just a reminder. You can hand a potion to somebody. Do you have any potions? You guys don't have any potions, do you?
No.
Okay, perhaps. Okay, well, we will let Jean-Luc take one final action before leaving, because otherwise you have no way of getting someone up right now. So I'll just, I don't know, I'll throw you a 3 health heal, Cooper. after Boulderbreast's turn. Boulderbreast, what are you doing?
I'm just running up and bonking it with my club, right on its, what I assume it has, eyes and a noggin.
It does have eyes and a noggin. Oh,
Yeah.
a bosh bish and a noggin.
That's 20 to hit. Very nice.
Nice, 20 hits. Boom. Whack.
That is 4 bludgeoning damage.
Yeah, okay, I like that. It's good. Does that conclude your turn? You take any bonus actions?
No,
Cool.
that's it.
Munch!
Alright. I'm just nervous. Shooting on things.
You're gonna have such a healthy Sunday morning breakfast.
I know.
Just pie with celery and daisies.
It's just sort of pacing along. He's always getting us into trouble. But then he says, okay, I've got to do this. Steals himself. Swallows. Grabs a stick with both hands. Just runs over here. Threatening it. And as he threatens, as he bangs into it, hopefully.
Yeah. You trying to blast this with some kind of magic, or are you just bopping it?
Let's see what comes out if I hit it. Well, I guess I gotta pick before I click the thing. I had a big lightning night last night in another game. Let's go with lightning. 16 to hit.
16 hits?
Hey.
As you sort of charge it. Give me some damage.
4 lightning.
Nice.
And then, excited from that, having right, it worked, he will also try to kick it.
Yep.
Same 2 hit.
Mm-hmm.
And same damage, but not lightning, obviously, just 4 kicking damage.
Okay. That's not bad. That's not bad. The creature is wounded. That's nice. Perhaps it will not kill all of you. Does that conclude your turn?
Yes, it does.
Fantastic. Cooper, having just sort of stumbled back to your feet, a distant echo of music over the water healing you. What are you doing?
I will stab this mimic in the tongue again.
Love that.
That's a 15 to him.
15 will hit. And this time you will get sneak attack damage as it is enemies around.
That is 8 damage.
Oh, a nice solid hit. Does that any bonus action from you?
Not bonus action, but I'm gonna hide behind Boulder.
Okay, not a bonus action of hide, just a hide. You. Oh, where were you? Here.
I was here.
Yeah, you'd be stepping out of its reach. So it's going to take a pseudopod attack of opportunity. An 8. Would an 8 hit you?
No.
Cool. You're okay. And then it is going to get one of its pseudopods and try and wrap it around Boulderbreast. That's a 22 to hit you, Boulderbreast.
Yeah.
Okay. You take 9 bludgeoning damage, and you are subjected to its adhesive trait. You are grappled by it. You cannot move, and you're very stuck in place.
All right.
Okay, cool. Diego.
Shit. What happened to?
Whatever happened to the? No?
I'm gonna have to firebolt. I think that yes, I used the spell slot to cast Mage Armor.
Mage Armor.
Okay.
Yes.
Which will account for. Yeah, I didn't have it marked off my.
Right.
Yeah, more.
Firebolt.
And so
Bolt of
have
fire.
a 21 to hit firebolt.
And Diego, does it sort of come from your hand? Does it come from your book? Does it come from your eyes? You know what does Firebolt do?
Yeah, no, we'll sort of do like a very fancy like a flamingo-esque like snap.
Yeah.
Spark of flame and.
Oh, he just throws it with a sort of.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. A little bit of panache.
Almost like a flick.
Yeah, the damage was fucking miserable as shit, but at least it sounded cool. 3 fire damage, creature severely wounded.
3 fire damage.
The second creature turn.
I don't think I need to move, so yeah, I'll back up a little bit of anything.
Okay. Boulderbreast, you are currently wrapped in tongue. You are grappled but not restrained, so you can hit the creature as you wish freely, or you can attempt to break out of these chains. It is totally up to you.
No, so long as it's wrapped its pseudopod around me, I assume that pseudopod can't wrap around anyone else, so I'm happy to be the one that's wrapped.
Yeah, it's only got the one tongue, many eyes.
Sweet, I'm just gonna bonk it in its eyes again.
Yeah.
Let's try to. That is a 14 to hit.
Oh, 14 does hit.
Beautiful. That is a measly 2 bludgeoning damage.
Glorious.
Still does.
Any bonus action from you? Any wind of the second nature?
Yes, I will use my second wind.
How's that look? You just sort of square your shoulders and brace, or are you taking a deep breath or a roar, or what are you doing? That.
I sort of like I looked up what sounds badgers make, and so they don't really roar.
Ah,
So
the interesting internet history of the D&D player. Yes.
They more do like a. So
Is that what you do?
I try to roar.
It's like a gargling snarl.
Very
pathetic.
good, very
It's
good.
It more sounds like a death rattle.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that. And as you do so, take a deep breath, and there you are.
So yeah, I got 10 hit points back, so I'm back at full, baby.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, a little bit of a something for that. I said it was quite exciting. Well, beat that for a sound effect, Munch. It's you're up.
He's astounded. He has no sound effects to make of any kind, and just
It's a shocked
But
face.
he does it. This weird. This stick keeps doing things, so he just waves at him again.
Okay.
And I just scrolled down too far. Why did I do that? 8 to hit.
Oh, it is a 10 actually, because you get a +2 from flanking, because you and Bodo are surrounding, but a 10 is not enough.
I have one of these cards in here. I don't know if I have to choose to use that one.
Yeah. So you can use it whenever you wish. I do ask that you never use more than one on a single roll.
And you didn't want it in combat. I completely forgot.
Unless it thematically makes sense, you know?
okay.
Like,
Just try to
I'm
kick
cool
him.
with it.
Just try to
Yeah.
kick him.
You can bish
Not
him.
dead yet.
Okay, cool. Cooper.
You were
Oh, sorry, Munch, you got a bonus action. You got a bonus action. You got a bonus
that's what I
action.
mean. I'll just try kicking him.
Yeah, do a ball.
And that's
You were
a natural one.
inspired.
Ah, he was not
by the
inspired.
death rattle.
No, he wasn't.
By the death rattle.
I didn't
He
use.
kicked the floor. Cooper, seeing Munch sort of whack ineffectually at this creature and not really be able to break through its armor, what are you doing?
I am going to fly up 5 feet.
Genuinely thought I was going to say flee.
I'm
Okay.
gonna fly up 5 feet, and I'm just gonna scream, "Leave us alone!" and swoop down with the dagger.
Can I assume that you are entering melee range?
Of course.
Please do so. And make your attack roll. +2 because of
That is-
surrounding.
15 to hit.
15 will hit.
And that is 10 damage.
Please subscribe as Grizzly Demise.
Yes, I just go up and screaming, "Leave us alone!" Just swoop down, landing on its, like, the head of the chest.
Yeah.
And just stabbing each of the eyes, each of the multiple eyes,
Love it.
until it stops.
Get more
moving.
attacks when it's a death animation. Yeah, you play whack-a-mole with its eyeballs until no moles and no eyeballs remain. And as the creature sort of slumps, its jaws sort of open and shut one more time, and then it reverts back to being a chest. And Cooper, your very excited mitts can open it up if you wish. And inside you will find, I will give you XP in a moment, a strange pair of goggles and 6 potion bottles. 4 of them are pale red with a swirling pattern, 1 bright green and speckled, and 1 containing a dark blue liquid that seems to roil and crackle with lightning and clouds.
Interesting.
It's very interesting. Does anybody attempt to discern the nature of these things as I find your XP for you?
Yeah, I think Diego would pick them up, sort of look at them.
Are
Pass them
ye
around.
versed in potion craft?
No, Not at all.
No, not at all. Okay, cool. In that case, you may just give me a straight Arcana check, please.
No, not at all.
Uh,
A 9.
A 9? Yeah, 9 identifies one of them. But not the others. You get 100 XP each. It's pretty good. Yeah, it was a dangerous fight. Highly dangerous fight. You are able to identify that the 4 pale red swirling pattern potions are potions of healing. Just standard potions of healing.
Sir, our elders have made these potions.
Are we not all just freaking out that the box came alive?
Can I just ask a question? Beginning of this campaign, started all of you with a thing, right? I started you all with a thing? Did that happen?
I don't think.
No, I gave Joe a stick.
Yeah, like later. Not
I
right
gave him a spell book.
Yeah,
I got it.
Jack, did we have a-
shield.
We didn't have a discussion
What?
about a chef feat at some point?
Yeah,
That
I got
not
the
happen?
chef feat.
You have the
I
chef
got- I
feat,
got
but
the
you
sh-
don't have the chef
I got
feat.
the
Oh yeah, we've all got a feat each.
You all have a feat?
Oh yeah.
Feet?
Yeah.
No, I don't have a feet.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I guess I need
We
to
even
add
made
it.
one
I
up
don't know
for
how. I don't really know how to add it.
Because I
Manage
took
feats.
Dungeon
There we
Delver.
go.
I don't have a feet.
Well, I'd want.
There
Joe,
we
do
go.
you have a feat?
Yeah. We sort of made one up based on a different one. That's why.
Yeah, you have
I
Wildborn, right?
expertise in survival.
Yeah. Yeah, and Rico, I'm sure we had a conversation about this.
Am I
Okay.
supposed to have a feet, James?
Yeah. Okay, so first of all, let's give you the chef feat. So, Jack, in the features and traits section, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, it says manage feats.
I've done it. I've added chef.
Fantastic. I want to just make a very brief change to chef. I have done this with our Friday campaign. I think it's really good. The little bonus snacks that you can make,
Yeah.
you can use those to restore, to stabilize, and grant temp HP. So if somebody, they're a bonus action to eat, but obviously that'll only give you temp HP. But if you put these in someone's face, a la your quartermaster thing that's going to happen later on, right? You can stabilize a creature using these. And I think you get 2 a day or something. Cool. Rico, I thought we had a conversation about a feat.
I don't recall it, James, if I'm being honest.
That's very fair. Let's see if it's if I have a record of it
If we
in
have
my
it
notes.
written down, yeah, that would be good. That or I may have like.
Yeah, I've got no notes on it.
No. I don't recall, James.
Okay, well, choose a feat. Choose something that makes sense to your
Jeez,
character.
man.
I don't know. You're a fox. Take the lucky feat. I don't know.
For the next
Um,
hour and a half of Rico choosing a feat.
Yeah. You're a fox. Be lucky.
Well, I might take Astute, which I took in when
And then you won't get confused. They'll both exist. Or there's I particularly like arcane savagery for you. Being a savage creature. Oh my god, look at this. What is this room service bollocks?
Wow.
The next time I come to Canada, I'm coming back with my very own Rene.
Doesn't work like that here, James.
Oh, it does. It does. You know not my talents.
Russia or Thailand or something.
But yeah, you can totally add a feat. There's arcane savagery. There's, I don't know, some other shit. But the most important thing was that Jack is capable of picking people up off the floor with food. That's the only reason why the feat came to mind. And then cool. Anyway, Sandy Victorious. Cooper, are you holding these goggles?
Sure, I'll take a look at the goggles.
Okay, cool. You know what these do, but the rest of the table don't. So let's get that done. I was homebrewing these last night. As the rest of you have all got your little I progress with the game thing. And I had a plan for like instruments and stuff, and then it didn't happen. So Josh just ended up being left out. So he's got these ridiculously gaudy, pretty little things. Jamal and I thought they were too busy and we were going to make them very plain, and Josh went, oh, I like that picture. So that is what you can have. These well-made goggles with magically enhanced lenses fit well over the eyes, with an expandable strap to secure them to the head. Whilst wearing these goggles, you can see minute details very clearly. You have advantage on intelligence investigation checks that rely on sight. You also have advantage on any saves against blindness. Once per day, you can activate the magic within these... I've written activate the magical. Wow. You can activate the magical within these goggles to detect any illusions within 60 feet of you. This vision cannot penetrate walls of more than 1 feet thickness or any stone or metal surfaces. This item is currently dormant, so you sense it may have deeper hidden magic within that will come alive as you level up. But in the meantime, you may take those goggles, put them on your head, attune to them, and be happy. 4 healing potions, 1 each. And then you've got a green speckled potion and a potion that looks like it's got half a storm inside it. Would anybody else like to discern the nature of these potions? It is just an Arcana check, please.
I mean, I'm very dumb, but I don't mind trying.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you've seen one. Maybe you haven't, you know? Jack and Josh can roll as well. Munch, you have no idea what these are.
I'm too busy.
I'll take a roll, please. An Arcana roll, please. As you just glance over them, I really do want these rolls. In a perfect world, at least one of you will be able to identify the green one.
I got a 14.
Fantastic! That's what I wanted to hear. Sorry, go on, Joe.
No, I do technically have herbalism kit, which might have helped for the other ones, but it's not going to help a roll of 5. So
no. But with a 14 and an 11, actually, it was close to a 10. That Rico got. You are able to identify the green one is an antidote. Good for clearing poisons away. You have seen this back at home. This mystical storm in a bottle. You have no idea what it does. You'll just have to drink it one day and see what happens.
I wonder who's going to do that.
That cures your poison. That's like, you know, when you've got the run. You just need to take something for your tummy.
Yeah, it is. It's exactly like that.
Well, you never looked after the little ones. You never.
Have you just turned my antidote into a bottle of Calpol?
They eat all kinds of things that are past good.
Mm-hmm. That is true. One antidote is identified, the green speckling bottle. The bottle of the storm in a bottle. No idea, anyone. Someone will just have to drink it at some point and see what happens. Which could have middling effects, depending on who drinks it. Cool. You do find, hanging out by this little dock, a little boat, a little sculling boat that is just wedged under the edge of the pier. Other than that, you have cleared out this entire area. And have scraped it clean of any valuable treasures.
So we weren't able to identify this as the Ark of the Covenant over here.
Reference.
It's Indiana Jones. It's blatantly the Ark of the Covenant from overhead. From Indiana Jones stuff.
Oh, Indiana Jones, right?
Okay. Faces don't melt.
Actually, you have already opened that. That was the one in which you found a Lantern of Tracking Undead, I believe. Yeah.
Is that the one where Eddie runs away from that boulder?
Yeah.
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 Raise of the Lost Ark. Yeah, that. Oh, yeah. We're not going to talk about this. About the chest that just came alive and almost tore us to shreds.
I'm not surprised, Boulder Breast.
You're not surprised? I was definitely surprised.
How are you not surprised?
I mean, I am shooting fire and magical projectiles from my hands.
Oh, that's true. Who knows what's going on?
And this is all from reading this strange book.
It's the book's fault. Burn the book.
The book did this?
Munch whacks people with such force. He creates sparks and flame. You don't find that strange?
Very strange. I find it strange. It's weird. And that Kef didn't do this sort of thing. I mean, it's just a very, very weird island.
Kev must have known. The Kev must have known about all this stuff.
But is it everywhere out here? Is it just this one?
I think that was the only one.
Did we have the only not island where this stuff didn't happen? Or is this the only island where stuff like this does happen?
That is a bloody good question.
That's
Maybe
great.
there are more islands like these.
Well, the map has more islands, and I don't know if they all do the weird stuff and magical things lying around.
You do know that there is plenty of magic in Chimvaya, but it's of a much more natural sense that you don't think of it as magic. But you have noticed the absence of it here. So, for example, the perfect temperature at all times, the speed at which things grow, all sorts of other weird things. The animals, right?
Sure.
You have seen wild creatures, but you've seen no creatures like yourselves anywhere. So you would be starting to gain an idea that the magic on your island is different to the magic on this island, I would say. There's no metal trees on your island, for example. To what do we do? Twit to woo. There is a little, as I said, sculling rowing boat under the pier, or you can just walk back out onto that beach that you came from whence you came. It's totally up to you.
Did we end up going to like the highest point that we could see to like look over the island?
No, you climbed a tree
Oh, right.
on a small hill.
Well, like I said before, we should probably get out of here because people might not want us taking stuff, even if it's okay. They'll be unhappy.
Yeah, that is weird, but you're right.
Excuse me.
Well, I feel there's no more north to travel. So which direction?
Well, if you exit out, you would come out onto the beach. Did I flip this beach? I did, didn't I? Yes, fantastic. So yeah, you have reached indeed the very northern of north. So there's the east of east or the west of west.
People,
Up
what do you
here
wanna do?
are big cliffs.
Yeah.
They remind me that it is raining. Cooper, what do you want to do?
I'm hungry.
That's something we can definitely sort out. There was fish in that barrel. I've got plenty of fish. We can boil some up. I'm sure there's some stuff around here that I could gather that give it the old sniff test. Make sure it tastes good.
Yeah, do you and Munch want to give me survival checks? As you can both do a bit of foraging. Nigel, foraging. Foraging is what I was going for. Foraging.
Foraging.
Fuck,
I
you
got
know.
a 17 on my forage.
Great, well done. That's wonderful. What did you get, Mudge?
12.
Okay. Balderbrass, you swiftly realise that some of this seaweed on this rock is very edible. It's got nice sort of wow, I was about to say nice tasty pustules. That's not a nice word, is it? But you know the little sort of like little bubbles of seaweed that are like sort of, yeah, you can bite them and they've got little juiciness in them. Lovely and salty. And you also find yourself a little sprig of some sort of fern or bracken that a little like a sort of bit like a herb, really. It's maybe a bit of thyme, bit of lavender thing going on. Munch. You have found yourself a series of berries. They're a little furry and very, very sharp in flavour. Think gooseberries, if you have those in the US or Australia.
I've heard of them, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure to what you refer.
Like a slightly
Probably not.
furry blackberry that's not quite ripe. Very sharp. Yeah. With that, you've got gooseberries, seaweed, a little bit of dried bread that's still hanging around, and some boiled and a bunch of fish.
I can make something out of this. We got this little sea balls. I'm gonna call them. They're like grapes. I'm gonna call them sea grapes.
Sea grapes. I love it. I love it. That's canon now. Sea grapes.
Well, they are an actual thing, so I just
Are
sold
they?
that.
Great.
But anyway,
Love it. I don't know it. The things you learn. Sea grapes.
So, I'd say, let's get some. I'll I'll take my water skin and I'll sort of let's make a lean-to, shall we, gentlemen?
I
Put
mean,
up a bit. I mean, it's raining. Let's get some shelter happening.
if this is the right place to do it.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It can
you're
be,
right, man.
but can I just interrupt very quickly? Jack, did you want a point of wisdom or a point of constitution from your feat?
Oh,
Wisdom puts you at 12, con puts you at 15.
I'll get con, please.
Cool, okay, marvellous. Fix that for you if your refresher sheet is ready. I just wanted to have a look. I spot of a short rest. Yeah, if you guys want to take a short rest, and gain an extra 1d8 hit points from Jack's cooking. As for the wares, I didn't mean to roll that, Jack. You can roll the d8. I don't want to roll it. As for where, you would know that out in this rain, it's very unlikely they're going to come down from their cliffs up there to down here. So if you want a short rest in the entrance to this cove with a little roof over your head, using their cooking pots, or your cooking pot and their campfire, you're more than welcome to. And anybody who does roll hit die to heal will gain an additional 4 health healing. Do you have to roll hit die? Any creature who eats the food and spends 1 or more hit dice to regain hit points. Yes, cool. So it's a song of really, really good rest. And you would also be able to make 2 of these little treats, Boulderburst.
Yep.
These treats give 2 temporary hit points, or a bonus action to eat, and would be able to stabilize a creature that is downed.
All right.
Oh,
Who's
cool.
hungry?
Me.
Come here, mate.
I run over,
So,
almost knocking the pot over.
I find a bit of wood. That's probably then like try it out and use it as a makeshift bowl or plate, and I'll serve it.
Fancy.
I just pour it all down my beak, Bill.
Down my beak.
And then I just like hold it back. Please, Boulder, may I have some more?
You can have as much as your fill, mate. I'm happy that someone likes my cooking.
Well, how good is your cooking? That is the true question. Can I have a cooking check, please?
Oh,
Yep. What would you like me to roll?
Oh, do you not have a cooking skill on your sheet? Not yet.
A cooking.
Okay, bear with
not
me a second.
Cooking skill.
You will do in a second.
Sweet.
Does anybody else use tools and I haven't done the thing for them? That was a
No.
fucking question, wasn't it?
Mhm.
Did it make sense to anyone?
It made
I've
sense to
got my
me.
navigation one, which is probably the same as I would use for like cartography or whatever. Anyway, so
Yeah, you could just survival that. I'm quite happy with that one.
Yeah.
Jack, if you refresh your sheet, you will find a cooking skill to which you can row. It is at the bottom of your skills
Let's see
list.
it. Yay.
Let's see. The very first cooking roll,
That's
but
a
that's the exact
14.
number. The exact number. So anything above a 14 is an increase to maximum hit points to your party. But 14 is just a really damn good meal. Yeah. There are other things, like there will be certain times where you can try and cook up foods later on for to resist the cold or to help with initiative or to be perceptive, all sorts of other things. But the base food is an increase to max hit points, or not, as this roll might tell you. But the food's really good. As you all dig into your fish, berries, and sea grapes, you feel a little restored, and the question of which direction to go returns. It is approximately 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Day 3. Wait. Have you guys had a rest? Had one long rest.
One long rest. This
Yeah,
is
we
day
have
2.
one long
we're on.
rest.
Technically, it's day 3 because you would have gone to bed. You slept on the island as soon as you got there, right?
Oh, okay.
Because you arrived at like 12 o'clock.
Yeah, those are the two.
We
right?
slept on the
I mean,
boat.
yeah, we slept in the boat, I think.
Ah, yes, that makes sense. Okay, cool. I just knew this was day 3, and I was really confused as to when that happened. So I'll use the 24-hour clock, and I'll call it 13:30. It's 13:30 hours on day 3. What doest thou?
Sun is high in the sky.
Well, somewhere. Can't see it. You can see these fucking dark grey clouds. Rain everywhere. Everything's a muted, miserable grey colour. Like my hair used to be.
Diego, Munch, what are we thinking?
Okay, like looking left and right, are there any sort of like features of the land that differentiate east from west? Like
Yeah, let's have a little gander. Let's have a little goosey gander. As you look to the east, you see that there's a sort of a large mountain up. I mean, large is a term. It's for you guys. In your knowledge, it's not that big a mountain. It's nothing bigger than what you'd find in sort of an average place. It's not, it's not Everest. There's no snow on it, anything like that. But it is bigger than the other green hills you've seen. And then you can see that there's a way around it on the beach. You do see that the huts continue a little further along and then come to a stop to your east. And there's little palm trees, and it looks quite peaceful to that way. To your west, directly to your west, is little inlets and bits of river and sort of little islands dotted out across. You could head sort of a little. You could go back around that big hill, and you could head west along the island. And you know almost nothing about that direction, other than you would be able to go behind the Sahwagan. But you don't know what that entails. Don't take the map as any spoilers. You haven't got a clue what's over there. You can also make the assumption, guys, that there is more than one settlement. I mean, you already saw the little pirate settlement down here. So don't worry, that isn't the only way in which you'll find people to the east. People will find you. But yeah, there's east, there's west. There's also a bit of south, but you'd be climbing up the rocks and cliffs and into the hills. It'll be difficult going. Well, for some of you. Some of you are quite good at climbing. And flying.
Right.
That didn't help you guys at all, did it?
I mean, east sounds good. Even though we haven't had a good time with kefs on this island. I think we need to make contact.
Well, maybe we can find the Kef that we first met.
Yes, is that a good assumption?
His map line went this way.
Yes, he knows about this place.
He does.
He must have sent us here, maybe because it's...
no intention of you following him, but yes.
That's what this campaign is now.
I assume he did it on purpose.
Yeah, I know. He just left the map because he knew that Munch liked the pictures. That really was what that was about. It's like when you give a little nursery book to a kid, and then suddenly they're like, "I want to be a hungry caterpillar when I grow up." It's his Munch living his dreams.
He wanted us to follow in his footsteps.
But he took a boat.
So do we.
Right, let's start walking. Anyway.
Aren't you hesitant? What do you want to do?
Well, I don't know. I think we could go up and we could look around, but it's going to be hard for maybe just I could climb up and look, but I don't know if I want to go anywhere by myself in this.
You would
place.
know that's a half-day job as well to get all the way up there. 4 hours or so to climb all the way up to the top of the green hills and cliffs.
I think to the west there's too much water flapping around in all those little streams and inlets we can see over there. I don't want to do that. I can't swim.
Yes. Okay. That's a good
Let's just
indication.
go to the east and look around the
Not
corner.
west. Go east. What was that, Diego?
I said, I agree. The water, it makes my fur curl. That's why I'm protecting myself.
I like you with curly fur, though.
I'll sort of scoff.
I think it suits your
What
demeanor.
does he know?
It's so uncivilized.
Yeah.
Makes you look rough as guts.
Yeah, basically, I think between all the little water, which would be more difficult for us perhaps, and the fact that we would probably realize that it's not connected to the river that we saw the Swagan in, but they're clearly waterborne folks, and we've avoided them once. I'd say east.
Okay. Yeah, you head to the east. And as you walk along the beach, you can come around and you see these sort of beautiful tall palm trees. And then as you sort of keep going around, you notice that the land dries out. But it's not dry right now because it's fucking shitting it down with rain. But you do see what appears to be like desert land a little further in. And this is fairly new to you guys. You haven't seen this sort of large expanse of dry land. This isn't sand desert, it's sort of cracked rock desert, if you will. A bit like walking through the Rockies, really, or the Grand Canyon, or something like that, if you've got that sort of visual in your mind. There's cracked rock. It obviously doesn't see rain very often, but when it does, it looks like this. And what it's doing is you've got this sort of orange mud everywhere. This large expanse. And you can choose to cut inland a little bit, or to continue sort of edging along the beach. You will note that you have come to the end of the hut. And instead you're just seeing more beach. Did we come up with a party token? We didn't, did we?
Yeah. Jack made one.
Jack made one? Fantastic. Love that. How did I miss this?
Oh, thanks.
Oh, that's really cool. I like that. Boom. Let's do that. It's going to be huge, isn't it? It's going to be absolutely fucking gazonga huge. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, you're just about coming to the end of the hut. And I'll take a perception check, please, from all of you.
Oop. A
Uh,
9
it's a-
and 8 and 2 13s.
A 9 and 8 and 2 13s. Yes, the 2 13s, whoever you are. As you look into the distance, you see these buildings. Long way away, you see sort of just a huge expanse of buildings. Buildings of stone, buildings of colours, buildings of cloth. You know they're very far away, but that they must be quite large when you get there. Vision, night vision, 60 feet, details, party token, do the thing, do the other thing, don't need to do the nameplate, update default token, and bang. I'm very curious, what happens if I do this?
All goes black.
All black.
It's black?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's weird, because the token has vision. Okay, can somebody take the party token and put it on the board? Somewhere?
I can't.
Ah,
Yeah.
that'd be why you can't see through it. Okay, cool. Do it
There,
now.
I
Oh,
just-
there we go.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, that's a strange place to have vision. Yeah. But this map is not as large as it should be. Bear with me a second. Does that make any difference? No.
No, I haven't seen any change.
I'll
Oh.
No, it's black again.
I'll put a new one on. There.
Ooh,
Well,
There.
it's really small.
Okay,
very small.
you now just got a small bit of vision, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Forget everything you remembered. The past. Okay, I am going to take you back home. Very briefly. Right, let's go all the way back to here, where you landed,
Whoa.
and then make our way.
Ooh.
Oh, I see. You're gonna. Smart.
yeah, we
It's
actually
been
had
done
some
already
left
for
over
me.
previously. Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, I can't do anything about that.
fine. It's almost exactly the same as what you're giving us now.
Yeah.
Oh, stand ye here, on the precipice of the future of humankind, or critter kind. knowing that far to the southeast, in the distance, you can see these little tiny buildings. Is that where you're headed? Is that where you're going? Is that where your future is? I don't know, you tell me. We've got a cool party token. Go us.
Yeah.
And I haven't showed stream the map at any point during this entire session, including for an entire combat, so fuck them. They didn't need to see it.
Oh well. Oh well.
Poor stream.
I suppose we are here for discovery. Must have known that we would run into the Coves sooner or later.
Very
Yeah.
true.
Perhaps,
I'm curious.
perhaps we not make our presence known right away.
Oh. I
It's like-
get it.
Sort of approach the outskirts of the city. Looking at it from here, you would know that that is at least a day and a half's travel. Maybe a day's travel. It's quite a long way. And this, are you going to wander along the beach, or are you going to cut across the ground, across this orangey, muddy ground? It's kind of interesting.
Is it hot?
It's lukewarm right now because it's pouring the fuck
Okay.
down with rain.
Yeah.
But you would, you would.
Humid though.
With your understanding, you would know that it would normally be quite hot here. Yes, this is a very unusual time because my D100
Yeah.
was misbehaving last week, basically.
It would be humid though, right?
Yeah, very, a little bit. Not as much as it was. It was very humid in the jungle. Now you've moved out
Okay.
this expanse. The wind coming off the beach is sort of allowing that humidity to pass a little bit. You would know that it would get more humid again should you go inland. Inland? I don't know. One or two.
No.
And we're seeing
well.
there's cactuses on the map. Sorry.
Oh yeah. You
but
are seeing like desert vegetation.
If there's cactuses, I'm just gonna be like, what the fuck are they? I'm gonna see if I want to eat one. They look scary. They got little.
You could potentially go to this one on the beach, or you could go to this one that's inland. Like that's a big cactus. That's like 14 foot tall, and it's got like
Sorry,
four
yeah,
arms.
what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, I leave this decision up to Boulder Breast and Munch, the resident survival experts.
I think they're all
better
survival
than I-
experts apart from you.
Yeah. Diego sort of sat around in the island, like combing his fur, people watching. Like, yeah.
Getting rid of the water. Yeah, love that.
I mean, we're probably less likely to get lost if we go along the edge, but it's probably going to be more boring. There won't be as many interesting things. We've seen beach.
It's like boring.
If Boldo wants to go eat a cactus, I mean, I'm with him.
Yes, cactus. A
don't-
strange word.
That's the biggest cactus I've ever seen. And I'll point at the big ass.
You probably have seen a little cactus, yes, and have a word for it. I'll give you that.
All these new things that you could chew on, Munch.
Yep. The seaweed didn't do it for me.
Yeah, it was a bit
It was
weird.
quite soft, yeah.
Okay.
I understand.
So is
Into
it-
the orange mud.
Yep. And as you head on into the orange mud, it is not long before.
Oh no, that sounds ominous.
You see a huge creature. It must be 12 foot from ground to back. And it has a long, frilly spine of multicolored sort of spikes. It's got a frill around its neck, and it's got a lizard-like face. It's like a giant Komodo dragon, if you will. Its huge tail swishes behind it, and it is charging across the desert, running from east to west in front of you. It is not running towards you, it is running to the west. And behind it, 4 or 5 sort of frog-like creatures upon two legs, grung. You have seen smaller versions of these in your own island, but not like this. These guys are tribal, and they've got their spears, and they're running as fast as they can across the land, sort of launching them at this lizard as they charge across to the west. They pay you no mind as this entire experience sort of parades before you. And finally, you sort of see the lizard slow down a little bit. Now it's a little way to your west, sort of 400 or 500 feet to your west. This lizard has come to a slow halt, spears sticking out of its hind and its backside. And finally, it sort of turns and confronts these creatures. They are majestic in battle as they sort of run up its side and stab down into it and back out. Two of them at the back are firing these strange contraptions, wooden sticks with strings across them that launch these strange long nails with bits of wood hanging out the back and feathers into the creature. You see lots of these prickly little spines out of its ruff that at first you thought might be part of the creature, and now you're beginning to realize they're being fired in these strange, odd contraptions. And speaking of odd contraptions, finally you see two of them with a very, very long log, at which is at the front is this huge pointy nail. And they come running along, two of them together with this huge hunting spear, and drive it into the creature's chest, pushing it in and in until eventually the creature in its death throes thrashes about and falls to the ground dead. This grung hunting party finally finished their kill, sort of at the foot of the mountain, if you will. Sort of here-ish. This huge chase and experience going on while you're just sort of all stood there slack-jawed. And just as a strange coincidence as the time passes by, the rain stops. Yeah, what are you doing?
Just watching in awe, I think. These small frogmen are fearless.
I've never seen anything like that before in my life.
The grung on Chimvaya are 2 to 3 foot in height and squat. These creatures are tall.
Do we call
thin.
them grung?
No, the frog people. They're squat and short. These people are tall, thin, tribal in their ways, yeah, it's a very different look. You would know these to be a completely different species, almost as if if you imagine the grung are like toad people on Chimvaya, fat toad people, and these are thin, tall frogmen.
Do we think that they might be able to communicate with us?
You definitely did hear them yelling commands to each other as they went across in a language you didn't understand. I will tell you that. They also look quite fearful and quite fearsome and quite tribal. You might approach them, but you would know to do so with caution at the very least. They're more scary to you than the pirates that chased you away with their nails. They're probably akin to the Sahwagin in how you were quite nervous of those. So
yeah.
I would take them in the same light.
Let's hide behind that big cactus.
Perhaps the inland is not the best.
Yeah, let's go to the beach.
Let's go to the beach. Let's go get away. Yeah, you definitely note that they don't seem to have noticed you at all. They were very focused on their prey, and they're now very expertly and quite scarily taking these huge axes and chopping the body up into different pieces and pulling it apart. Yeah, they're not fucking about. And interestingly enough, they will then continue up the mountain. Obviously, if you guys want to follow them, chase them, talk to them, whatever, they'll head up the mountain and back over it. You think that that's where they've come from. And perhaps they went over here to hunt and have retreated back to their homes with their meat on their shoulders.
Well, they're a little scary and they're going the wrong way. So leave them be,
Don't
right?
pose a threat. Let us continue.
Okay. Reach a big cactus. What do you do with it?
Would we know that
One of
there's
the spines.
Go on, Josh.
would we know that there possibly water in there?
You might have seen very, very small bulbous cactuses on Chimvaya. Their spines are probably not too sharp. They were gentle, as everything on Chimvaya was, but you would know they contained water, a little bit of. You're not particularly thirsty. It's been raining solidly for 24 hours, but you would know that they look juicy and they're bright green.
Yeah, listen, it's a pain in the ass, but you can cook and eat cactus. At least back home, you can cook and eat a little cactus. But, like, you gotta take off the spines, you gotta boil it for ages. I'm not sure whether we're interested, but...
You spy a little half-a-foot cactus, you're right, as opposed to the 14-foot tree you're hiding behind. If you wanted to experiment, that one might be more akin to your size. Unless you want to chop down the 14-foot cactus.
Well, I was thinking of just like maybe piercing a little hole in it to refill my water skin.
Oh, yeah, go ahead and give me a nature check.
Nature. That is a 4.
Okay, you stab the cactus, and it's got a hole in it.
Oh no, it's dried up. Can I stick my... Can I make the hole bigger and try and stick my hand in it? To see if there's like water further down.
Yeah, you stick your hand in it and it's so sticky. Almost pus-like on the inside. Yeah. You do note that there's a little bit of liquid between the thick, fleshy folds of the outside of the cactus, between the layers. But this cactus is 14 foot tall. And it probably goes a little way into the ground. The area you've stabbed is quite high up, and I mean, it's only Cooper height up, but it's not in the ground, right? You would know that you would need to sort of almost dig it up effectively if you wanted to get water out of this. You'd be better off with that little 1 foot dude to your right.
Could I climb inside of it?
No.
If
you made a hole that big, if you made a hole that big, the whole tree would come falling down.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you put a 3 by 3 foot hole in a 14-foot tree, it'll fall down.
No.
There wouldn't even be any tree left.
If you like chop it sideways, sure, but if like you just cut a hole there, you can go inside.
But I think you're underestimating how large Cooper is in comparison to the tree.
Right. So it's a small hole.
No, you're underestimating how large Cooper is in comparison to the tree. Right? The tree is not as wide as Cooper.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah. So you could consume the tree, but the tree cannot consume you. Whilst tall, it is only sort of this thickness of cactus. Yeah, okay. You cannot climb inside it. You could reach a little tiny bit of wing in it and poke around, but that is about it.
No, that's not what I was going to do.
Well, that's what you did. You discovered the sap.
Yeah.
It was thick. Oh, dear me. You want to chop the big cactus down, Boulderbreast? Do you want to chop the little cactus up and potentially eat it later?
Nah, look, I'm just thinking of, like, what we can eat. I'm excited. There's new stuff to try. But, like, let's just go to the beach and go to the city.
Okay.
Or the big structure place.
Can I make a suggestion? You guys sort of walk the line, Johnny Cash style, sort of along the edge of where sand meets desert, where beach meets red rock. And that way you can experience a bit of both biomes without really committing to one or the other. And as you go along, after a little while, you come across a tree. This tree is it looks almost like it's made of various rings, as it's sort of a ribbed being, if you will, as it goes up. Lots and lots of sort of different round bits. And then as it gets quite high up, it's got these beautiful wide leaves, sort of long and segmented into lots of little frilly bits all along both sides, like palm leaves, if you will. And hanging from it are these strange fruits. They look a little prickly, but dark yellow in colour with little green sprouty bits coming out of them. Not particularly dissimilar to a real-life pineapple, if you will. But round instead of pineapple-shaped.
I would like to climb one of these trees.
Great. You are not even 2/3 of the way up the tree when fruit begins to fall from the tree, as if you're shaking it with your climbing. You do get right to the top, and you're able to pick up smaller ones, and see that it has these tiny red, sort of almost like poppy flowers, but really, really small, and these beautiful long green leaves, which look like you might want to take one off just to see a huge fan, or you could even sit on it. I mean, it's big enough for Munch to sit on it. They're sort of 3.5 feet in length, these leaves. And these fruits are dropping to the ground, and they drop with a sort of solid thud. They don't squish. And indeed, you can grab a couple while you're up there, Munch. But you get 12 of these large, round fruits. They're slightly... I don't know if spiky is the right word. They're spiky in the same way that a pineapple is, the outside of a fresher pineapple. It's not painful. It's just sort of like, hey, you're an unusual texture I wouldn't eat. Mm-hmm. But you would definitely know you could carve into these and get to the fruit on the inside.
These are pretty hot on the outside, but they seem ripe. They're not the sort of thing just because they're protected doesn't mean we need to keep them around for a long time. But we can eat them right now, I think, or anytime soon.
I'll pick one off the ground, and considering I don't have a knife, I'll ask Cooper to maybe split one in half.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Cooper, you cut in with your dagger, and as you open it up, it's like this blood red color. It's dripping with juice. It's got hundreds of little pips in it. It's a little bit like the inside of a watermelon in texture, but it's a much more sort of blood reddy, almost orange color, blood orangey color. And just even smelling the juice, it's sweet, but it's also quite refreshing, like a very sugary lemon, almost.
Pour the juice into my mouth.
It is fantastic. And as you eat into this fruit, which we are calling the Samoi fruit.
Ooh la la.
This is the name of it, a Samoi fruit.
I think my feathers are now stained red.
I'll hand the other half. I'll hand the other half to Cooper.
Perhaps with this juice is positively invigorating.
Boulder breast and be like,
go.
You need to try these.
There you go. Try it, okay. Holy
I'll
shit!
cut another
Wouldn't
one
this
in
go
half.
great with the sea grapes, like the salty, the sweet? Maybe I'm insane.
Munch,
I don't know.
have you eaten one yet?
Yeah, he's pried the rind off with his teeth, and he's just going crazy.
It's deep in it. In that case, all of you, resistance to fire. Forever, Josh. The power creep in my D&D games is just going through the roof. We ate a fruit and we got permanent resistant to fire. Don't worry, the next time, the first stake you have will be permanent immunity to damage. No.
Now you're just being silly.
But you would assume to land on a long rest. I'm wavering on making this change to every aspect of D&D. 8 hours is a shitty period of time. I don't know what to do with aid and mage armor and all that sort of stuff. And I like the food buffs. So I think I'm going to make it till long rest. I've been playing some Baldur's Gate recently with Josh, and it's a change that I definitely enjoy. You don't have to think too much about when your buff's going to run out. So like mage armor will now, Rico, this will last until long rest. Eating these fruits will give you resistance to fire. They also feel refreshing in that you would imagine if it was a lot hotter in these desert heat. And you notice that the rain stopped for like 10 minutes and the ground is already drying out. The clouds are sort of parted and this hot sun has come down. It's a dry heat out here. It's not that humid heat you had back in the desert. Back in the jungle, sorry. As the ground begins drying out, you're sort of like, yeah, this would really help me deal with like the desert heat in general as well. The Samoi fruit.
Could I use one of the larger leaves as an umbrella to give me shade?
Yeah, you definitely. And you wouldn't be the first person to do this. Whether wafting slowly air at you to feel refreshed, or it's somebody else, if you've got a slave to do it. Or you can just sort of stick it. Well, I suppose you don't have a cape, but if you did have a cape or a cloak, you could stick it in the necktie bit and have it like set over your head like a sort of like Inspector Gadget. hat, or you can just hold it over your head and use it as a little parasol. That's a word that Boulderbreast knows well, parasol. It's one of his favorite words. But yeah, definitely. You'll find yourself shaded. Cool. We passed the Grung hunting party. We got ourselves to the tree. But at this point, you can all really see now the city looming up before you.
Does Munch see anything out there?
The closer you get, the bigger the city looks. And perhaps also the closer you get, the further away you realize it is. And as it starts to get to late afternoon and the sun begins to set over the horizon, you'll see this sort of beautiful orange and red dappled ocean into beach, into desert look, with the start of sand dunes coming up. These slow rolling, very gentle dunes with little tufts of green as tiny little desert grasses grow out from different parts of it. As you clamber over, you'll begin to see some creatures, some fauna, I guess. Is that right? Yes. Of the natural land. The first thing you'll see are these tiny green lizards. They're about 8 to 10 inches in length. They're bright green, have big, bulbous red eyes, and tiny little yellow spines all the way down their back. You see a couple of these lizards, and then as the sun dries out the rocks, more and more of them coming up to sunbathe on the rocks before the sun sets. You do also see 2 other types of creatures. It is just out of the corner of your eye, Munch, with your passive perception. I think yours is the highest. Is that correct? And I have your passive perceptions. I haven't got these written down like I normally do.
Mine is 14.
Yeah, I think Cooper's a 13, Diego's, Boulderburst is a 12, and Diego's somewhat lower.
9, yeah.
No, mine's 11.
Oh, okay.
This is a 9.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, so, Munch, with your passive perception, you notice this creature sort of slithering off. And give me a nature check, Munch, as you look at this creature and think, well, that's not small. You've seen little grass snakes back in Chimvaya, and you just assume this is a much bigger version of it. It's got yellow and green alternating scales all the way down. It's a snake, by the way, if anybody didn't get that. It's about 3 foot in length, and it's yellow and green alternating scales. So if it was if you held it by its head, it would be as tall as Munch, from ground to forehead. Taller than you, Cooper. Not quite as tall as Boulderburst and Diego, but it's slithering away, and you just catch it out the corner of your eye, going between 2 rocks, and you would now know that you might encounter more of these snakes later on. And the third creature, a little different, a little larger, and caught at a distance. You see 3 of these creatures, just sort of heading out over the rocks into the desert lands. They look like nothing you've ever seen before. They are, I don't know, how tall is a dog, guys? 1.5 foot, 2 foot from the ground to the back, to its back. Like a coyote dog. Sorry, like a wild dog. That's what you're seeing. I don't know how to describe this as what your characters would see, but you're seeing 2 or 3 sort of wild dog coyotes heading from the south, sort of pulling. I don't know if you guys can you see a line that I draw out of your vision line? Yep. Can you see that?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, cool. So you see them heading in that direction. Sort of up from the southeast to the northwest. And again, as the sun sort of starts to go down, you'll suddenly, it's probably, who's got the thinnest skin? Probably Munch, I think, is the first person to sort of let on a little shiver. As a slight cold wind catches your shoulders. After a little while, Diego, ooh, that's a bit chilly. Then Boulderburst. It is cold wind. And finally, Cooper, even with resistance to cold, you do have resistance to cold, right? I haven't made that up. Cool. Even with resistance to cold, you're beginning to feel like the little bits of water that's still within your feathers from when it rained. Really, like, they're getting cold quickly. Guys, I'll take a survival check, please, from those of you that are proficient, which I think is just anybody that isn't Diego, right?
That is correct.
Yeah. 12 or 14 and 18. I'm going to take this from different perspectives. Munch. It's you're not a nighttime creature. You're not a nocturnal creature, are you? No dark. Do you have dark vision?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, you do have dark vision. Okay. Is it Coop that doesn't have dark vision? Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
That's
Cool. You're not a nighttime creature. You're not a nocturnal creature. You would know that it's about time to rest in a small wooden hut, ideally, with a little.
It's time to migrate.
Furry top. Yeah, exactly. No, you don't migrate every night. You just sleep.
That's what you think.
But yeah, it's time to find a little bit of shelter and rest up. You're not too bothered about the cold usually, but you do know that nocturnal, in a land like this, nocturnal predators might be a little more scary.
Yes.
Boulderbreast, with your 14, you're aware that the ground that was hot beneath your feet only minutes ago is starting to get colder and colder. And you would be thinking, well, a warm meal is going to be needed. Really something hardy to bolster you guys against the night. And with that, you do notice a few tracks of one of these wild dogs and see it. You see a wild dog a little way away, sort of 60, 70 feet. And your mind sort of wanders back to those grung hunters with their huge lizard. But looking at this dog, you would know that is nowhere near as scary as the mimic or the sea spawn. This could potentially be something you could hunt to eat. And I think at least 2 or 3 of you would have hunted meat back home. I think badgers eat meat, right? Is that a thing?
Yeah, they're omnivorous.
They like eat voles and little stuff like that.
Yeah.
In fact, I think Munch is the only animal that doesn't typically eat meat, right?
I mean, they eat like bugs and stuff, but yeah.
So yeah, hunting a creature wouldn't be out of the question for you guys at all, is what I'm saying. So you see this wild dog that you consider hunting? Munch, your mind turns a little differently. You are pretty good with distances, and you would know that even walking through the night, you wouldn't make it to Zerkantha in one go. And perhaps nighttime is not the time to approach those kefs were definitely not made for the night. They're definitely a daytime creature, and if you were to set out early in the morning, you could arrive sort of late afternoon, and it would be a bit more amenable, but also you would know that this land is difficult to traverse for all of you, even in the daytime. At night, it is going to be too cold for Munch. You're going to need some food, you're going to need some shelter, perhaps a fire. What do you guys do? It was the longest survival check I've ever responded to. Sorry.
That was good.
It's a lot of me talking, though, isn't it? You guys do some talking. What do you do?
Well, I can help with a fire. And I'll flash my fireball to the breeze. And
I thought you just made a campfire. That's what that motion was. Yeah, cool.
Whenever you get around to gathering some wood, it'd be this
You startled me. I forget you can do that. Bloody hell, mate.
Yes, this book has the ability to do
bloody
so.
hell. Listen, that we can probably get some food with a little bit of effort if you're potentially willing to help.
I'll help.
Any takers? You'll help.
I'll help.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you, Coop. Yeah, just maybe we take out the dog. I assume it's a dog, or like a dog creature-y type thing. Do we have dog? I mean, we don't have dogs on the island, so
no, there's no reference point for this creature.
The four-legged thing. It's got meat on it, guys. I know it's a bit weird for some of us, but it's sustenance. I'm not even sure it's going to taste nice, but we got to eat.
Where it lives, we need some place to stay. We're never going to make it to the city tonight, to that place, the buildings.
Well, there's rocks around, right? So can't we just sort of like...
There are a few rocks. There are also some more sort of large desert trees that are quite dry and quite wide. I don't think you guys took the fish out the barrel. I think you just took enough to eat there and then. Did you put some? You did put some in a chest to smoke, right? On your back.
I did put
That
some in
did
the chest,
happen.
but I assume we ate them all when I made it. When I made the
Yeah, that was where I was on that. Cool. I'm glad that
Yeah.
that's not going to be against
Yeah,
you
I don't.
guys'
I
beliefs.
assume we have no food.
At the moment, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Holy shit, there are winged kobolds. Sorry. Just complete distraction there, but yeah. Didn't know that. Fucking hell.
Should we eat them?
Yeah, if they were here. They're not. I was like, it was something different. They just came up
I'm
as
not opposed
winged
to hunting,
kobold.
but, do we really want to tussle with these creatures?
You would know they're well within your ability to hunt. It wouldn't be a combat. It would just be a I chased it, I shot it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like it really is. It really is very manageable for you.
Well, I think some of us go out and hunt, and the other ones build a little shelter. How about that? Who wants to do what?
I'll hunt, and I.
All right,
grind my
me and Coop will hunt.
dagger.
Okay.
Diego and Munch will sort out.
But a shelter and a campfire, yeah?
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
What does this look like? You've got some long, sort of wide, branched desert trees. They're quite dry in the wood, and they've got sort of very thin leaves that don't take much watering. Even having had the rain quite recently, these trees they've survived quite well. There's 2 or 3 of them within range that you could easily chop branches from or chop. You've got a couple of those big green long leaves if you want. I think you've got a couple of bits of cloth and stuff that you've found along the way if you want to try and make some sort of tarp. You've got there is at least one large rock that you can sort of gather beneath, if you like, as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the main thing of like because it's pretty cold is the thing that, at least I'm mainly worried about. So yeah, just setting up a place, sort of dig a little spot, not deep, you know what I mean, but sort of cleared a depression for a fire that's sort of facing up against the boulder face there, and then we'll prop up what we can around that in case there's any other problems.
Yeah.
Cover it with like some of the palm leaves to keep.
Yeah.
If it rains, the rain out.
Right. Like that. Cool. And as you guys are sort of making that, I'll take a survival check from Cooper and Bilderbrest, please.
Both got 14.
Nice. Yeah. That's more than enough. And you guys are able to catch this dog unawares. What do you do? Just try and sneak up on it and club it around the head, or are you going to throw something at it, or what's the thinking?
Yeah, if we can do that. I mean, I think I was assuming I was gonna distract it, and then Cooper goes up and takes point, just like.
Great. Yeah, that's absolutely. You can sort of
Sure.
attempt to look a little less threatening than you are and distract the creature, and then Cooper can sneak up on it and get the whack on it. Definitely.
Literally with his sneak attack.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fantastic. You take the creature out nice and easily. Yeah, you can capture it and bring it back to the campfire. Yeah, as you get there, you see that these guys are just about setting up camp.
You get there as I'm firebolting the fire pit that we've created. Just in time.
Oh.
Successful.
Yeah. It's weird. I've never sort of killed anything that I feel was the size of me almost. It was strange. I feel like in sort of where I'm the predator. You know what I mean?
Yeah, its fur is a little bit like mine to make this comfortable, to be honest with you, but
Yeah, it's definitely weird, and I wish I could do better to provide something else, but This is the best we can do.
Guys, if you'd like to place yourselves sort of here. Your regular tokens. In and around the campfire. The campfire should give vision to those of you who don't have any dark vision. Is that correct?
Yes.
Oh god, I'm in the fire.
Don't see yourself in flame. Cool. Okay. You guys can begin to cook your meat over the fire. I'll take a cooking check, please, from Jack. Jack, are you Boulder Breast? Are you? Are there any sides to this, or is this just meat on the fire?
Well.
Followed by fruit, the dessert.
Same. We still have the.
I mean, what sides are there?
Might be
You
a
know
couple
what I
of
mean?
berries. About it.
Yeah, that I'd sort of like ration out and dress the meat with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cool.
17.
Great. If you'd like to increase your max HP, each of you by 3, just to clarify how we do this, up the top right, you click on your HP, and there's like a max HP modifier. Just make that a 3, and that will set your max HP increase. If that made sense. It did. Just bear with me a second. Lost something. Very good. Cool. And yeah, you guys are able to make a firm shelter. Can I take a either a survival check with advantage from one of you, or a survival check each, and I'll take the average from Diego and Munch to ascertain the nature of this shelter and how well it went and all that.
How do we want to do it?
I don't care. I mean, I'm good at it, but
Yeah, we'll let Munch do survival with advantage.
Munch the check, you the help. Yep, love that.
cool. Here we go. 18.
Okay, yeah. So whilst in this, you have built up enough resistances that when it begins to get cold, which it is already doing, the fire's heat is held in nicely, and you guys are able to really rest up a little bit. Beyond this, you also notice after about an hour or two after dinner, as you guys are beginning to try and get some sleep, this wind really starts whipping up. And the sand sort of lashes into those little makeshift bits of tarp and leaves that you've placed around the outside, and you know that there's a sandstorm effectively along the way. On that note, we will take a short break. Right back. Hello, and welcome back to the second half of Chronicles. These guys are huddled around a campfire. Just dying, getting ready for a long night's rest. Is there a watch order going on?
Well, so Diego, as always, will cast alarm for the campsite.
Give me a second.
That's beautiful.
Lovely.
Saw Cooper go like, whoop.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make a character for it. Alarm.
And which will basically allow him to just sleep through the night, and he'll be like, "That's my contribution.
Oh.
You all should keep watch still, but in case anything."
You already had this. I just hadn't given it to you. All right, let me give it to you. Rico, save. Cool. That's alarm. See it on spells and assets? Cool.
Yeah.
That really isn't quite as big as you might have hoped. That'll let you know when someone gets there.
Yeah.
Is that it? That's the Night's Watch?
No, that's Diego's contribution to the night.
Anyone else? Any sort of watching, any sort of staying up, or you all just like, fucking, we've got an alarm?
I'll go second.
I'll go
What
first.
goes first?
Maybe you should go last and make breakfast while you're out. I don't know.
Yeah, alright, I'll go last.
I'll go first.
That's a good idea.
Okay, cool. And for the 2 hours in the middle, nobody's awake to wake
Yeah.
Breast because Diego's asleep?
Yeah.
I'll wake up. Jeez.
Alright, he sets the
Just to
alarm,
wake
but then
him up,
I'll-
and then
I'll
goes back
ask-
to sleep.
Yeah.
we'll see what happens. Because you aren't going to get that far. Who's
Oh,
taking
no.
first watch? Munch, right?
Munch.
Everybody else take a short rest if you need it. If it makes any difference to your character sheet. Because Munch, after about 2 hours, hour and a half maybe, you notice that creatures are forming within the sand. And they seem awful intent on your campfire. And they look a bit like this. You're going to see these strange creatures elongated. It's roll 20 picture, by the way. In the chat. You see these sort of strange elongated noses, little wings, clawed hands as they appear to be made out of the sand that's whipping up. And slowly they begin to come in closer and closer. And you hear them sort of talking out loud in some sort of elemental tone. Calling out to each other. At first it sounds like a noise of the wind. You just keep hearing these little voices out of the wind. Suddenly you realize that it's not just the wind making whistling noises. It is these creatures. As far as you can tell, there are 2 of them. As they get about this close, you know that they are coming at you, like Cleopatra.
Obviously, I'm poking everybody.
Yeah, so
whacking
it's a good
Diego
time to
in the
wake
face with
people
my
up.
tail and-
Cool. Guys, there's no escaping this fight. It's coming straight at you. But you do have a little preparation. If you want to do anything in the first round that does not involve attacking any enemies. So if you haven't, it's very early doors, but you'll get a lot of these turns throughout my campaigns, which is you've got a turn to act, but you can't affect the enemy yet. It's just a self-turn. But you've only had a short rest, so you wouldn't have any spells back necessarily unless you've got Arcane Recovery, but I think that's a level 2 thing.
No, it's a level 1 thing. I got 1 spell back at least.
Okay.
And you said that my mage armor had elapsed.
No, it elapses on a long rest over the course of a long rest. But
like, so I fell asleep though, like as if I was.
Sure, I can roll with that. Yeah, I can go with that.
I feel like I shouldn't really have it up.
What I was thinking, if you wanted to have it up, you could cast it on Cooper and Boulderbreast in one cast, right? Because you can affect 2 creatures with it now.
Okay. Well, I was gonna give it to myself and Cooper, but yeah, if you'll allow that, I'll give it to Cooper and Boulderbreast.
100%, yeah.
I don't know that it's gonna help Boulderbreast much, but.
What? He's got no armor.
Oh, true.
So it gives him 3 armor, like straight up out the door.
True.
It's huge. You might do later. Certainly, you would have noticed, Boulderbreast, that those tribal grung folk wore these strange sort of like. Some of them had tortoise shells across their chest. Some of them had like little metal versions of it, and some of them had like this boiled leather cuirasses. I think Boulderbreast would have noticed that as a way of protecting herself later on. But yeah, Cooper and Boulderbreast, you can set your base AC to 13.
13 plus your dexterity modifier.
So there is a way to do this on your sheet. If you click on your armor class and go to customize, you can say override AC, or you can say override base armor plus dex. And I think if you enter 13 for that, it'll then calculate your dex.
It will.
No, I think you just have to put in you just put in the number.
Oh, okay.
I just put a +3.
In this situation, that is perfect. Yes, a +3 is correct.
Just override with
Well, however you work it out, I will then take initiative rolls, please. During this, as you are clicking the initiative button, Diego has prepped with a mage armor. Munch, do you have anything to prepare prior to a fight?
I don't think there's really anything I have at the moment.
Cool. Cooper, do you have anything prepared prior to a fight?
Not that.
Just put your goggles on.
Yeah, I mean, unless you'll let me like try and scare them off.
No interacting with enemies in the first turn.
Then no.
That's just a self thing. And Boulderbreast, do you have any self preparation?
I'll take the dodge action.
Well, in that case, I might suggest something for you guys. Perhaps Boulderbreast and Munch. You might want to eat those 2 snacks that Boulderbreast
yes.
would have made earlier with the prof bonus, giving you 2 temp HP each. Can't go wrong with that. You'd still have a snack left to feed.
Do we still have resistance to fire?
Yes. Yeah, still have resistance to fire, and you'll still have a snack left to pick somebody up with, and 4 healing potions. But yeah, you can have that 2 temporary hit points each, just to have a little extra to go with. Because you know what? You're not going first. Oh, why has that not worked?
Do we
That
still
works? There we
have
go.
the? Do we still have? Sorry to interrupt, but do we still have the +3 to our health
Yeah.
from the?
Yeah. Until you
Okay,
click
cool.
the long rest button, those vests last, right? That's the logic, because a long rest will actually clear that automatically anyway on D&D Beyond, so it just makes you guys' lives easier. Cool.
I like it.
This dust method swoops on in, guys. Oh, they're in the GM layer. Sorry. Cool. Can you see him now?
Ah, they're there.
In they come. Woo! Oh, God, am I picking on Josh again? You just happen to be in the right
Yeah,
place. Okay, cool. It comes up and tries to smack you. Gets a 10.
That's a miss.
Okay, and then it's going to set a 15-foot cone of blinding dust. Yep, can't reach you, so it's just you two. Diego and Cooper, a dex save, please.
I have advantage again.
You do have advantage against being blinded. Look at that, you got the goggles and got an advantage over this. I thought,
Sounds
how
like it
often...
was planned.
No, it wasn't at all. I literally sat there and I was like, how often is that advantage against blindness going to come into play?
Oh,
You rolled nat 20 on the first row.
19.
Yeah, saw that. I can read
19
your
from
emotions.
Diego.
Fantastic, yeah. Two of you sort of... it does help that the
But
camp
Diego's
area...
wearing that black mask that we found in the camp. So it's just...
Oh, well, that doesn't protect your eyes, right? It's a little masquerade mask, but it's got eye slots.
no, but like, you know, he's just...
Oh, okay. Yeah, see, he just looks cool. That's fair. Yeah, okay,
like
cool.
a hero.
Cooper, you're up.
yes.
Oh, sorry, what I was saying is that within that alarm spell is where your camp is set up, and that is reducing the effect of the sandstorm a little bit.
Nice.
I don't think you guys would want to step outside of that alarm, is what I was going to say.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and stab at this little sand devil.
Okay, Diego, I'm going to put you in an actual square instead of half on a square.
Oh, sorry. I didn't...
It's alright, I don't even know how you managed to be half on a square. Cool. Go ahead, Cooper. +2 to hit because Diego is in melee range.
Yes. That is a 14 to hit.
14 will hit. You strike through this creature, you know lots of it's made of sand, but there is a solid body inside, and you sort of catch it with a bit of a slash, but you only briefly catch it. You sort of catch its wing and its shoulder, because that's only 5 damage, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Anything else from you?
As a bonus action, could I take the wind chime out of my bag and just like shake in front of it to try and scare it off?
Yeah, give me an intimidation check. 100%. You sort of rattle this large, and it's a horrible noise. It's a cacophony, sort of noise as you kind of clatter it in its face.
No one wants to hear that.
No, you don't. It's horrible. Terrifying.
It's a 17.
It's like throwing a wind chime across the room. It's cacophonous. Yeah, and you see this creature sort of begin to think twice about what it's doing, but you don't know what the effect of that is yet. Boulder Breast.
All right. Well,
Qu'est-ce que tu fais?
even though you've scared this thing, I think the best thing, we're just gonna kill these things. So I'm just gonna run up and try to whack it with my club.
Yeah, you come up. Is this a two-handed clubbing action? No, it's not. You've got a shield on, right? So
No,
you just sort of grab the
I
one
got a
club
shield.
and bonk. Yeah. +2 to hit. Means you're in flanking range, surrounding range.
It's a 15.
Yeah, 15 will do it. 15 will hit.
Beautiful.
Give me some damage.
It's 3 bludgeoning damage.
You okay? Very impressive. Does that conclude your turn?
And that is that'll be the end of my turn.
Munch!
Well, I guess. Can I go up in some space to whack and we'll leave again or no?
Yeah, 100%. I would say as well, like, you've not got reach, but we can sort of imagine that this is you going between Diego and Cooper, even over Cooper's head and bonk, and then stepping back a little bit, right? So you can use that square if you wish.
I mean, because I would just like hold for the other guy, but then I won't get my second.
Yeah,
So.
that's cool.
All right, I think that Munch is just.
Oh, Joe, I will say, though, that doing so, you might provoke an opportunity
Yes,
attack on retreat. However, you do notice the creature does look a little intimidated. Sorry, carry on. As you
I was figuring it would happen as a possibility. Yeah, I think I'm just thinking about how chilly I am, and it's accidentally triggering cold damage from the staff. But it's a miss, so it doesn't matter.
Is it?
Yeah, it was
Did you
a
get-
9.
Okay, plus the 2 from being in flanking range gives you an 11. Unfortunately, 11 does miss, actually. Yeah, you sort of go to bonk it, and it looked like a solid piece of it, and then just sand falls away. And you realize that it wasn't a solid piece of it. This elemental creature is just constantly amorphously moving, and you haven't got 2 11s when you needed a 12, have you? All right, Joe. That's pretty shitty.
It's all right.
Let's hope that it misses you on the way out, shall we? It will roll with disadvantage.
I'm going to, as I move away, as it comes at me, I'm going to go to the other side so that
Oh god.
so that I can collapse over there.
I've rolled 2 nat 20s on disadvantage.
my God.
That doesn't happen very often. You're not going down, I don't think. Maybe, kind of. You might do.
Probably not. We'll see.
No. That is going to be 7 slashing damage. Scary hit, but certainly not a deadly one. With your 3 increased to max and your temp. It strikes at you as you get out, and you realize that just maybe next time, just, I don't know, Diego should just be out the way. What's he doing? Yeah. Distraction in every sense of the word. This creature's going to come up to Boulder Breast. And it's going to at you guys. This is a 15-foot cone, so let's draw a 15-foot cone and see what we can do with it. I can hit you 3. Or you 2. Yeah, I'm definitely going to hit you 3. If you are in this cone, please a constitution, dexterity save make. Josh with advantage from your goggles.
Oh no.
Okay, Diego, you are blind. Boulder Breast, you are not.
Hey.
Another nat 20.
Nice.
Wow.
Lots of nat 20s going on. Cool. And Boulder Breast, this is with a +2 to hit because the creature is flanking you or surrounding you.
Yep.
So that is going to be a 12 to hit.
Does not hit.
Nice, Diego. I can't see.
Diego's gonna back right on up.
You will take an opportunity attack straight roll because you can't see it and it is scared of you.
Didn't it already tried to opportunity attack Joe?
Oh, yes. Sorry, it's that creature. Yeah, cool. Yeah, sorry. I confused myself because Munch is over there. But you are very correct. He was over there. Yeah.
I would imagine, like, as this is happening all in a blur of actions, Diego sort of, like, tries to, like, duck through behind Munch as Munch was, like, coming over the top of him with the staff. And he'll back up just a bit, still catching the sand, of course. And he will try to let out a firebolt in the direction of the one in front of Cooper. I imagine it.
Does it say target a creature you can see?
Yes.
You will not firebolt it.
You hurl a mote of fire at a creature or object within range.
Fantastic. I some of them do, some of them don't. I don't know why the wording is different on some of them. But yeah, you can just sort of a disadvantage, but also not a disadvantage because the creature's frightened, so it's a straight roll.
Okay. Straight rolling. Natural 20.
Sick! Woo. Go ahead, roll me some damage.
Just a single, right?
Just a single regular damage plus the 10 from Firebolt
Plus
to max
10,
plus
7
the fact that the creature is vulnerable to fire damage.
Nice.
So that is a 34 to the guy with 9 hit points. He is fucked. You see the Firebolt sort of hit him in the center, and this fire sort of catches the sand and crackles all along him, and suddenly sand is turned to almost like volcanic rock. It goes black, and then there's just a pile of ash on the floor. With flames. You don't see how cool that shit was because you're blind. But everybody else saw it was pretty fucking cool. And the second creature turn, Diego. Fucking better.
Yes.
It was obscene. Cooper. Good thing.
Does a terrible thing not happen to us?
A terrible thing.
I don't know. Most of these Nephits explode when you kill them.
Oh, true. Yeah.
No,
True.
Okay, cool.
Think
Oh,
haven't got that.
That's why I hate them.
that's how we die.
No, some of them. I think some of them do. These particular ones have changed slightly because otherwise they could cast sleep on you, and that's pretty ridiculous at your HPs. So these are lesser threat methods, as I would call them. Yeah, a lot of the creatures you're fighting at the moment are lesser threat creatures. The Mimic had less health, the Sea Spawn had less health.
I'm not complaining, just trying to play fair.
No, I'm not going to kill you. They're not. Cooper,
Yes,
do a thing.
I will slash out at this guy in front of me.
Yeah, do so.
Which is a 16 to hit.
Mm-hmm.
And that is 9 damage.
Wow, that's really good damage. Nice. Any bonus action from you?
No.
Creature's wounded. Roll the rest.
I'm dumb. But can
Yes.
I put 2 and 2 together that fire, the fire did...
The fire was very effective, yes. Yeah, definitely. To take a piece of firewood and plunge it in?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, can make the torch
I would
attack.
like to.
Go ahead and give me a club attack, and I will replace your damage with fire.
Sweet.
Unless you miss.
Yeah, unless I miss.
You do not miss. A 16 or...
to hit, I do not.
You see its long snout sort of poke out briefly and you just bonk on the head with the fire. Give me your club damage and I will change it to fire.
Beautiful.
Making it vulnerable.
To fire.
Your rolls are obscenely terrible in damage. You don't ever miss. You just don't ever do any damage worth mentioning.
It's a D4 with nothing else added.
No strength?
No,
You just got
I
10
don't have any
strength.
strength.
That explains so much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that you,
built
Boulder
for defense. That is, yeah.
Munch.
Yeah, well, I shall step back up. Similarly, I think I've done fire once before. I'm trying to imagine it, but also kind of like confusedly, like, should I consider putting my very cool stick into the fire? Not really, but in the process of doing that, I'm thinking about fire enough that...
Yep. Using this little blast of fire just comes out, just stick 'em. Go ahead and roll a hit.
It matters. Yeah, 16 to hit.
Yeah, plus the 2, so 18. Yeah, boom! And as you... I think you can't fail to kill this, but let's have some damage. Yeah, that is 10 is a lot more than 4. Go ahead and describe this creature's grisly demise. You're doing all the killing today.
Yeah. So I said, it's like kind of a moment of indecision about whether to actually put fire on the stick, but in doing so, the stick just sort of creates a little fire as it does, and I just kind of whirl it up over from the fire towards over Boulderbreast's head and down through this thing, kind of burning the sand of it as it comes down.
Nice. Yeah. And as these methods sort of calm down and pop into little piles of ash on the floor, you may each take 50 experience points, and that will end our combat. And you may immediately just hit the long rest button, because you will get a sleep through the rest of the night. The sandstorm's annoying, but not too much for you to cope with.
Do we lose the fire resistance?
Yes. That should just... Oh, it won't just happen. Yeah, okay, cool. No,
no,
that one you will have to
automatic.
remove automatically.
We're so close.
Oh, I hadn't even put it on.
Are you?
Yeah, we're 45 off, I think.
That's
Yeah.
a little way. Okay. As you awaken in the morning, James will look for his music. Where's it gone? Not had it. Bugger and tits. Let's find that. Is it gone? Oh, that's really frustrating. Yep, cool. You wake up in the morning. What are you doing? What's your breakfast? What's the feel? Do you talk about the methods from the night before? All that sort of stuff.
I wasn't just seeing
More
things, right?
meat. More meat.
That actually
More
happened.
meat. I'm sick of fucking meat. Wait, what were you saying, Diego? Sorry, I was in my own head.
I was just saying that actually happened, right? That was in a fever dream. Or...
Yeah, what, the desert coming alive and killing us?
Yeah.
Well, trying to. Yeah, I know. Did you see what you did? I mean, fuck me, mate. Rip Snorter, you really fucking did something with that fire.
Yes, of course. I'm
That
the
was
best.
bloody ace.
Thank you. Yes. All of us, though. To be commended.
Yeah, they just sort of came up out of the sand itself. There's all sorts of weird stuff here.
Speaking of weird stuff, as you wake in the morning, you will note the moon didn't quite set. So there are 3 moons in Mesrea? There are 3 moons, right? That is Mesrea. Yeah. We talked about it briefly in Beldadia and then kind of forgot about it. So there's 3 moons. If you have all 3 moons in the sky, the night is 3 moons bright. It's a very rare occasion, about once a month. It means that the night is almost light. That is very rare, though. But this particular, the 3rd moon, the largest of the moons, is not sunk. I do have their names, but fuck am I going to find them? And you'll note that it's sort of almost blood red as it sits just on the edge of the horizon and just hasn't quite gone down. Tarnished by the color of the sun. It's quite creepy. You may have seen this effect from Chimvaya before, but it's probably been 5 or 6 years since you've done so. And it sort of is a bit ominous on Chimvaya. So. Carry on, as well. Or as you went. Was he? Sorry about that. I waited, and then decided I needed to ask you for a cooking check. Sounds like a cooking check, please,
yeah.
Jack.
As I make a cooking
just
check,
dried coyote, yeah?
Yeah, dried coyote. That is an 18.
Nice. That is 4 to increase max. Some good rolls. Very good rolls.
4 to increase max.
Yeah. And you will also, a reminder that you'll have those 2 little bonus action treats.
Yep.
I will homebrew an item over the course of the week, Jack, to put in your inventory. So you can just always have that on hand to go, oh, that's what that does. Bonus action treat thing. Boulder Rust. Yeah. Sorry, your brother was born when?
On a 3 moon night. Partly why they think he was lucky and made chief and stuff like that.
Perhaps today will be good to us.
Yeah. It was lucky for him. Anyway.
Well, I feel pretty lucky that you're here on this one.
What?
The 3 of us.
Me? Oh, bloody oath, mate.
Yeah.
Calm down. It's all
Well,
good.
It's
We're all
not been your
here,
brother
you know.
distracting that crazy chest that attacked us and all these other things? Standing in the way?
Alright, alright. Let's bloody press on.
Okay. As you are sort of just getting ready and heading on out, you notice that the sandstorm's still whipping up a little bit, but it has created something in the night, and you will see some kefs out a little way from you, almost half a mile, and they appear to be engaged in some sort of combat with a tornado. That's what I got for you. It is, you would know this as a dust devil. I can put a piece of art of this in the Discord. I can't ping this to Roll20 because stupid D&D doesn't have it in the right place. So this is like a tornado of dust, with a nasty looking face and that long snout. It's a giant version of that mephit you fought last night. And you will see 3 or 4, these men are wearing sort of, desert clothing, I guess. So sort of like long white flowing garb with sort of darker colors across the middle, and headgear of the sort. And you see them holding these sort of staffs, and as they're sort of prodding the staff upwards towards, and their voices sort of float over on the wind towards you guys a little bit, and you can hear this sort of their calls. And Diego, you recognize these are not some unusual language. I mean, they are an unusual language, but they're not like a different language like the Kefs spoke. Instead, these sound like magical chants, similar to those that you've been reading out this book. And in fact, you do note that they are casting Firebolt a couple of times, but then they cast some things that are much cooler and well beyond you. And you are beginning to see Kef wizards with their staffs corralling this mephit, this huge dust devil, by putting flames at it in different angles here and there and round. And they're not killing it. they're sort of corralling it off towards the mountain. Sort of, off you go, because they know that when it leaves the desert, it'll stop picking up the sand and it'll dissipate into nothing, just wind across the land. And as they sort of prod and poke it, they begin to move closer and closer to you. They still stay within sort of like 300 or 400 feet away from you. This fight is occurring. Sorry, you are resting about here. Oh, this is gridded. I've got to be really careful with my clicking. You're resting about here, and this fight is occurring sort of fucking cone. Everything's going on right now. This fight is occurring sort of where the dot originates, and they're pushing it in that direction, off towards the mountain. So it's not 81 feet, by the way. I can't do the distances properly, or you can see miles and miles and miles. They're pushing it off in that distance, and just sort of prodding it constantly, and as it comes past. So your hand was like this, and it gave a little thumbs up on your screen with a little bubble. As if you were just saying to me, yeah, all right. It's got a... Oh, there we go. He's the fireworks.
Whoa.
Yeah. Anyway. So you see this sort of corralling fight and these voices coming through across the land, and you're witnessing these mages move to the south. And I want to know, are you going to try and hide from them in your tents and behind your cover, or are you going to come out and watch in full?
Should we help them? These cliffs?
I don't think that we have much help to them.
They do look very powerful to you.
They are using magic. The same as which I found in this book.
But even if we just try, it might make them like us. Better than those ones in those huts, anyway.
Yeah, then they can protect us and give us food and nails.
Well, boulder breast?
Food sounds good.
Oh, come on, where's my
I've
cursor?
gorged myself. I'm eating so much.
Let's have a closer look.
Yeah, I think we get closer.
Yeah, I mean, there's some distance off, so like obviously we may not be able to get there and do anything anyway, but approach on the chance of doing it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys sort of rush in, and as you rush up, they sort of 3 of them continue to prod at this creature with fire, but the 4th one sort of turns and he holds his staff towards you, giving you a sort of step back motion.
Do the fly thing.
A wave. Yeah. And he sort of looks at you, and do any of you say anything? Or are you silently waving?
Can we help?
Seeing that you move your mouth and, like in speech, he sort of very slowly, Kebapa, Gostime.
He sounds like that Gef. No?
He
What did
does.
he just call you, Diego?
I'm not sure what he called me, but it sounded like the Gef, the first one.
Oh.
Maybe you can send one of those little blasts of fire at the thing so he knows that we're against it.
Ooh.
Yeah?
You should do
Good
that.
Not to
idea,
make
mate.
any threatening. I don't want to make any threatening motions.
We'll calm him down, and you shoot the thing. I can't get over close enough to it.
You sort of reach to the side, Diego, and towards the dust devil. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, I'll try to run like laterally to the side of the guy and blast the fire at the dust devil.
Yeah. And seeing this, he sort of nods and then he sort of places his hands. You see that he had his staff sort of pushed towards you, and he pushes it down into the sand where it stays, sort of leaning against him slightly. And he puts both his hands sort of out wide towards you, and then against his chest. And then he gives you a little bow.
I will mirror.
Azaka. You repeat the actions, Diego? You do the same thing? Hands
I'll
out?
do the exact same thing. Hands
Okay.
out and bow and Azaka.
Ah! And then he goes,
I'll give him a wink.
launches into
Also
a
give him-
spiel of
I'll
language
also
you don't
give him a
understand.
wink.
However, in this spiel of language you don't understand, you do hear the word boat. Boat. Sort of flying through all these words. It's the only word.
Boat. That's how we came here. On a boat. The other side of the island.
To point, he sort of nods and
Yes, that's right. The four
Four.
of us.
he sort of motions us together. Boat?
Out.
Yes. Something about these Kefs, they always feel the need to mime their speech. I'm not sure.
And well, I think, Diego, you would realize that your babbling
I
is completely as incoherent as theirs is.
I know.
But nevertheless, you see these three creatures finish poking this dust dust devil off, and off it goes. And the three of them come round, and they all look much similar and dressed the same ways. And they sort of spread out, and each one of them again, same motion. Hands out to show that they're holding nothing. Hands towards them, and then they bow. Ak'azam.
I'll look back.
Is anybody trying to reproduce the word Ak'azam?
Yeah, definitely.
Give me a performance check. Anyone who's doing it, give me a performance check. Where's the fucking bard when you need him?
I got a 3.
Great! Sort of,
I also got a 3.
yeah, your Ak'azam has 2 quacks in it. You Aka roared, or Aka snarled with your fox.
I guess we all
9.
gotta do it then.
Yeah, yours was vaguely intelligible as Ak'azam, but it definitely had a lot of zzz in it. It was like Ak'azam! And it seemed a little aggressive. Boulder Breast, you do that little raw trill on the ah of Ak'azam, but you sort of Ak'azam. So you got it, bang on, like that. And he sort of nods and smiles at you greatly, and he reaches down to his hip, where you see he's got these sort of strange bottles, a little akin to those potion bottles you found earlier. But they're covered. His bottles are covered 2/3 in wax. I have no idea what concept of wax you guys would have. But you had bees, so you've had honey. So maybe you've done some honeycomby shenanigans. But I don't know. Anyway, they're 2/3 covered in wax. And he takes a small wooden cup. He puts the cup on the sand in front of you. He takes from his hip and he pours into the cup a little bit. And then takes 3 steps back, and the 4 of them sort of just give a little nod. And then gesture, like outwards. I'll take an insight check from anybody who wants to. Anybody who thinks they might. Anybody who potentially understand what the fuck is going on.
I'm proficient. I'll try. Ooh,
Yeah.
not today.
And this is a duck mating ritual, I think.
Yeah, I have a
Cooper's seen-
-1.
Cooper's seen this before. So Cooper, you've definitely seen this ritual sort of almost gift giving before. Somewhere on the island of Chimvaya, and so you would know that you would take that gift, but you also need to put something on the sand in front of them first.
Yes, I will put down my hammer.
Okay, your little hammer in the ground in front of them.
Yes.
And he picks it up and gestures for you to pick up the cup, which it contains a sort of dark red liquid in it. There are some little bits in the dark red liquid.
Oh.
It's like a mulled
Like a
wine with like
smoothie?
herbs floating about in it. Smells lovely, very spiced. Would you take another sip?
Yeah, I'll take a sip.
Okay. You take a sip and it's very warming inside, very pleasant.
Mhm.
And he sort of picks up your hammer and sort of nods at you very gravely. He has no idea why you've given him a very simple carpentry tool. But he acknowledges that you're not holding much metal, and maybe that's something that's valuable to you. And with this, he very quietly and very softly sort of puts his hands out Welcome.
Like, did we understand that, or that's
No.
As he opens his arm, I will run to him and hug his leg because I think he's trying to hug me.
He sort of, yeah, he sort of, having said this, sort of reaches down and gives you a little like scritch on the back of the head, and yeah, he's quite pleased with this development, this hug, and
I'm gonna be someone's pet.
he turns around and he motions towards Cantha, and he gestures to all of you and motions to the city.
that's where we were going?
Yeah.
Shall we travel with these gifts?
I'm just really worried that they're powerful. They can do the stuff that you can, but like more.
Yes.
But they're the only ones that used it for anything nice so far.
I will rock off of the back of Cooper's 18 insight check. They're not offering to take you. They're asking if you're going. He sort of
Like,
gestures and
I will sort of gesture to the.
he sort of goes, and then he'll reach down very gently reach down, Cooper, towards you, and he'll point at your dagger, and then make this motion. You're muted, so that was that was exactly how much he understood.
I'll put my dagger inside my back.
Yes. He nods vigorously and sort of gives you a little thumbs up motion. And you might, Boulderburst, pays no mind to your club. So it's the blade that is relevant. You would get no naked blades, and you can see that he looks a little concerned for your welfare. But then he gestures towards the foot of the mountain and his friends. And sort of looks a little sad. And then he puts up his finger. Wait. And he'll go to his friend and they'll exchange something out of the pouch. And then his friend sort of gives him a little piece of parchment and a quill. He sort of writes something on it and hands it to you, Cooper, puts it in your hand, and then points at the city, and then
I turn around.
You give.
That sounds threatening. I will turn around to the party. Do we have a concept of like mail?
No, but yes, I suppose. You know about leaving notes at people's houses, but you also read them right, and you would understand, I think, that he's given you something to give to the people at the city when you see them. Mm-hmm. Given his friendly nature towards you, and he looks fearful of what might happen when you go to the city, you can guess that this might be something to say, hey, don't kill these guys. They talk, they're intelligent, they're real. You know? Whatever it is it says.
Then I'll tell the party that we need to give this to the city. The city needs this.
And then he sort of gives his hands back, out at all four of you, and they begin to walk away to the west. You are very aware that there is absolutely no sense of invitation to come to where they go. But he does, as he goes, instead of Ak'azam, says Sahmmas to you. And you would get the impression that Ak'azam was some sort of greeting, and Sahmmas is some sort of farewell. And I just want to clarify, this is not you learning common. This is their own language, their own thing. So they are genuinely saying Ak'azam and Sahmmas, whereas when you get to the city, the word welcome, for example, would be a real word, as would boat, right? So, yeah, you know that's their thing. And as they head off to the west, and what's you in greeting? You've met some nice kefs, some kefs that didn't try and stab you with blades. That's good. The last thing I expected you to do when you saw a CR5 creature was to go and join in the fight. It makes sense. I love it.
We don't know it's a
you showed them you were helping, but I was like, I'm not putting you in the combat. I've seen this thing's damage. Yeah, I think this might have been the end of you. That's an AoE attack.
Wow.
Yes, that is not good. Let's not do that. Cool. Anyway, you guys now have a small cup of wine. You've lost your hammer. The wine's very nice. Unspiced. Doesn't seem to have any magical effect of any sort. A common gift in the deserts. How many fucking cups that guy must have? I don't know. Just keeps giving them away. Which I meet a new person. Here's a cup. Like, fuck. But anyway, yeah, you guys can continue on your journey to the south. So this is day 4, 10 a.m. ish, I would say.